Okay, so now we've gone inside the building. You can see what I've called the main disconnect written in purple there. Up above it, I have two arrows heading into the top of the disconnect that says from outside. So we've come from outside to inside into this main disconnect. It's going to be the largest of all disconnects. From there, we're going to run into a splitter. So you can see I got splitter written in purple. It's just a long trough. It's usually maybe 3 or 4 feet long, maybe a foot wide, and maybe 6 to 8 inches deep, depending on the size of the splitter. So voltage and amperage would change the physical size of the splitter. From the splitter, this is where section 14 really has a lot to do with everything with splitters, tap rules, and whatnot. We're going to leave the splitter, go into the disconnect for the bakery. We're still 600 volts. We're going to leave the splitter. We're going to go into the drugstore disconnect. Now, there'll be more disconnects coming out of the splitter for the other units of the building, doctor's office, the bakery, the beauty salon, the insurance office, those types of things. But we're just going to focus on the bakery and the drugstore. So you have to tell me what size will the disconnect be, what size fuses will go in the disconnect for the bakery. And remember, it's 600 volts. So from the bakery's disconnect in the main electrical room, we have to go to the bakery. So you have to tell me how long is that conduit, what size is that conduit, what size is the disconnect, what size are the fuses. The same goes for the drugstore. Once we get into the units, we're going to go into a transformer on the primary. We're going to leave the secondary of the transformer, go into another disconnect, which will be fused. That's 12208 now. So we've established our neutral. We've grounded our transformer. From that disconnect, we then head into our panel, and we're now ready to distribute circuits throughout the units. So in the answer sheets in week 5 that you are to fill out, it gives you it tells you what it wants. So for the bakery, it says feeder length. So that's from electrical room to the transformer in that unit. The transformers are going to be ceiling hung, so they're going to be up at the ceiling. So when you're doing your lengths, make sure your wire and your conduit's going all the way to the ceiling. I don't need the size of the disconnect on the secondary. I don't need the size of the panel. Those will all be consistent with what the prints currently tells you because they're already set up for 12208. I want the 600 volt side of things. You're going to have to size the transformers, and we'll do some examples of those shortly.